What's going on, guys? So today on this 00CTOBER review, we're taking a look at an HGP Bandai kit that I've had in my possession for a while now, but only just finally got to it because, well, 00CTOBER didn't happen last year, obviously. And it is the P-Bandai GNY-004 Gundam Plutone. And it is one of the second generation Gundams from the early days. And of course, it does come from the side story of the 00P. And because it's a P-Bandai box, they made it this color blue. Yay, that's not going to wreak havoc with my white balance settings at all. No. All right, so I think what they did here, I think this is an actual image of the kit. And then we have just really nice drawn artwork. There's some 00 stuff going on there, HG Gundam 00. And you got Bandai Spirits 2020, so like I said, it's been a while. It came in late, so it didn't get included in 00CTOBER 5. Came in, I think, in November or almost December. And I was really upset because this was one I really wanted because I love the earlier designs. And previously, they've only existed as like extra kits or conversions or resin things. So, and because this is a P-Bandai box, there's not a ton to look at. So we come down there and we got Gundam Plutone, GNY-004. And come around here, of course, you got Bandai Hobby.Nerd, HG, all the things, all that kind of stuff. Did I get this one directly from P-Bandai? I think I did. I could be wrong. I might have gotten it at BBTS. It's been 2 years, so I don't recall. I know that it went up for sale on P-Bandai's website, so it's possible I got it there. But knowing me, I probably also could have got it at BBTS. And you've got Gundam Plutone there, all the things. You got warnings, including, hey, keep second-gen Gundams away from your 3-year-olds because there could possibly be a GN explosion. And you got illustration is by Yanase Takayuki. It's a new name to me, or at least I don't recognize it. Of course, no anything like that. Odds are, because it's a P-Bandai kit, you're going to pay a little bit more. Probably, if I had to guess, in the $25 to $35 range, just because it's P-Bandai, and you're probably going to pay late tax now. Anyways, probably upwards of $50 because people are crazy. But either way, earlier Gundam, still upside down. Looks good. I really love this artwork, though. It's just like, that's superb. That is just superb. So, let's get to it. And here we have the Plutone, and, well, it looks a little down in the dumps. It's just kind of sad. It's just sort of thing. Looking a little bit incomplete because it has a gimmick. We have a core fighter, which, you know, in the case of 00 is interesting. So, like, we've gotten like escape pod versions of core fighters, but this is like the first time we've gotten one that is a straight up like core fighter, like you would have in UC or any other main timeline Gundam series included. And this, I believe, it's technically meant to be the cockpit, but I could easily see that just being a sensory thing. You get a kind of a cool chrome sticker that goes underneath the green bit there. You do see right back behind there, you can see this is the GN drive, as you do. Now, I put that sticker there. That wasn't part of the thing. I just cut out a little excess piece of greenery, stuck it there, but I think in reality, it's not supposed to have that there. So it's highly inaccurate, guys. You should just quit now. The wings are semi-posable. You can move them about like so. Yeah, can rotate like that, come back here, and you've got kind of the more like triple thruster version of the GN drives. I think in one of the previous reviews, I think it was for the Estrella, I said it wasn't actually a GN drive, but it's before they came up with the cone design. So this is the older way of doing things. And you do get some cool yellow fins coming out there, which are basically the clavicle fins. I did paint with some of my favoriteest dark gray ever. Focus, please. No, but seriously, focus. What the heck? There we go, finally. So paint it inside here because they're basically like intake vents, in my opinion. And then paint it down here, and of course under these bright lights you could see exactly how rough my paint was. That old gray paint is pretty much shot. You know, I painted a couple details here, a little bit sloppy, didn't clean it up, but that's okay because the core fighter isn't super important after this. But one thing I wanted to show, because you do have that there, if you have a small HG stand on hand, you can just make it do a fly do, like so. I think it's a really cool little core fighter. Now, if I remember correctly reading in the thing, they kind of proved like it's a little bit useless because the core fighter in and of itself has no defensive or offensive capabilities. It's basically just for travel and or escape, so it didn't really do them any good. So they kind of scrapped it after this. So let's pull that back out of there. The stand will reemerge later. Also painted a little bit of gray there and there just for effect. Now, what you want to do is, we got to prep this for the Gundam itself. Go ahead and pull off the cockpit area, so to speak. And then you just end up with this. And you can see the GN drive, kind of front green piece there. Better. And then now we want to pull off the back section, like so. And then this is just going to go away. So in reality, this would make up the core of the Gundam itself. You know, these, you'll see here in a second. And in fact, we will bring in the Gundam itself as it goes. And you've got a big open area here. So you can see the core fighter will basically just dock in here directly underneath the head. And through some small transformation, those fins would come out here and become the clavicle fins. And then you take your cockpit area, utilizing that little slot there, tab that in, like so. And I say cockpit area because much like the O-riser, it's just a thing. Come on, where is the focus today? What are you even focusing on, machine? Oh, because it wasn't on auto anymore. All right, so we take the back end with the rest of the GN drive. Since you put the big one facing downward, whoop, come back here. You want all this to tab into there. So you need to take the, oh, nope, this way. Fold the wings down, kind of get them outward, like so. Am I upside down? I'm upside down. Geez, it's early. All right, so you got all these tabs. They're going to line up to right there. And just push it in ever so carefully. And there you go. Now we have the Gundam Plutone powered up and ready to go. And it's a good looking Gundam. It is. I mean, it's got the basic whites and the blues and the yellows down. So, I mean, it works. And just like I normally would do, all of the GN verniers are painted gold, although once my gold paint is kind of dying as well. I did add a lot of gray to areas that needed it, like areas behind the GN thrusters. These little detail bits like that, same thing here. And back in there with the vernier. Come around the back, couple other spots here. Back here on the arms, little spots there. This little gray dot right there, because that should be an elbow joint, so should be that. And of course in the GN drive I did it as well. I added a rear camera because it didn't come with one, but it had a spot for it, so I added that. That's once again just cut off bits of leftover stickers. Always save your old stickers, guys. And yeah, some of my areas did not clean up worth damn, especially like right along here. I'm not proud of it, but you know, the review must go on. So let's zoom in here. I said zoom in here on that head sculpt. And one thing you'll notice is it does share a little bit of design aspect with the Dynamis. It's got the little red dots right there. And that would actually be stickers if you follow the instructions. I didn't feel like doing that, so I just used some red Gundam marker. Couldn't tell you which one. It was red, and it worked. That's all it came down to. But I love the color separation they have here, and they actually have these blue pieces sticking out through the cheeks. That's actually very, very cool. I did trim off the safety nubs off the V-fin and the clavicle fins. Same for the core fighter, because safety nubs are dumb. Cut them off very carefully, guys. Also, what's great is these chest vents, the gold or yellow pieces here, also separate pieces. Also, I painted the gray up inside there. As you do, we've already talked about how this is the core fighter chest, which is still really neat. This would be a fantastic MG. I'm just going to be honest with you. Why don't we have an O Gundam SG or MG? Once again, I'm tired, guys. I've been doing a buttload of reviews. I don't know if you know this. Okay, so articulation, double ball peg neck, as you do. You know, same kind of Gundam neck we're very much used to. It's a little stiff because I painted around that spot, so it's fine. I think, is this where I had to paint? No, it's underneath this. Okay, so this is actually a molded piece that pumps through, so really nice layering there. But I did paint underneath all this. You can't actually rotate the arm all the way around because you have these GN power cables connected to everybody. Interesting design, especially considering that it's attached to the elbows. It's attached from here on the sides down to the knees, and then back here to, I believe it's a particle tank, like because they lacked GN condensers back then to help store things. So the actual GN drive would just, if it's just stationary, could sit there and fill this thing full of particles, so it could be ready to go at any time without any warm-up. So that's one of the things where they developed it later on in the technology. Let's see here. So once again, the shoulders can't rotate too far because that's attached. The arms can come up to there. Not too bad. Straighten out the arm. Rotate the bicep, and you do get double jointed elbows, which are pretty good. And you can get a high teacher, like you do. And then kind of like some of the other early Gundams, you do have a wrist joint there, which is nice. So you get joint, joint, joint. It's pretty good. Pretty dang good. And I love the way this is layered, you know, because I like it when I can paint under here and then plug in the thruster bit. The only thing that's weird about it is you end up with this huge like arm chunk, and then a fist just sort of folds into it, sort of. All right, I don't think, no, it's not going to be an ab crunch, but you'll get some waist rotation, which is good. It does rotate the top and the bottom of the waist, so it gives you a little bit of differential. The hip skirts do move about, though just be careful because you probably get them unplugged. Front skirts are just two ball joints. Separate them so you can move them independently. No big deal. It does stay. Back skirt does not move, so that huge particle tank thingy just stays there. And you do get very nice, you know, hip movement. Also, there's your plug for it stands. And you can kick that far forward. Then you start getting into a bind. Can go back, but only about that far. The knee itself is double jointed. Trying to get it to go. So you get a whole lot of movement, and you get this nice knee pad here, and then all this going down. And one thing that's cool, these vents are part of the same yellow piece that makes up that thruster that's inside there, that really inset knee thruster, which is cool. And then you come down here and you get ball joint mounted ankle down there, but then a hinge joint. Should have known that was going to happen. Felt it. That was dumb. That was dumb on my part. Oh, come back here. All right, so what I accidentally did there was lose what retains the power band there. So this actually does hold that in there. So if you never want that to come off, cement that in place. So I was trying to show you the ankle does have a buttload of movement here. You can rotate on that ball joint and stuff, but due to his really small feet and the heel being a bit further forward, he has a tendency to want to fall over backwards. So you kind of have to give him a little bit of a forward lean and or just some knee action just to get him kind of happy. But either way, good looking Gundam. Now you do get a couple of accessories that are basic. You do get expressive hands, which are always nice. So we can come over here, and I always love when they give you total separate expressive hands, so you're not having to separate like the back of the hand or anything else like that. You do get a rifle, which is kind of familiar. It looks like stuff we've gotten in this series before. Could even be similar to some of the accessories packs that we've gotten, but I like that we have what appears to be a scope down here, which you won't focus on, with a sticker that just sort of on there. Interesting to put the scope on the bottom. Now you do just have a handle and tiny plug, so you can plug that into there, and then it just sort of rests in the forearm like you do. So in the normal tradition of weapons being powered by plugging into the forearm, it's what we does. So once again, not enough heel there. The ankle needs to be further forward, or I'm sorry, further back. You also get his shield, which is cool. Really love the layering and design of this thing. Oh, the funny thing is that actually looks a lot like, I think, the Union logo by chance. And I know this thing can do a GN field, but I don't know if it's directly from the shield itself or emits from the body in a similar fashion to like Virtue and stuff like this. So this one is actually kind of the predecessor to a few of the 3rd gen Gundams. Like it makes a lot of technological advances. Like, and then of course it ends up getting destroyed at some point and then cloned to be the Plutone Black, which would be another really cool kit. So that's actually not the same Gundam, unlike the Avalanche. Or I'm sorry, the Avalanche, the Estrella. Now the other thing is, I gotta remember if this is the one, and I made the joke in the intro. There was one that exploded due to an overload of GN particles and caused like one of the first real cases of GN particle poisoning, kind of like how Louisa Halvey and all those people got jacked up from the Thrones GN particles. And I think that was from this, because I think it was called the Plutone incident. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. And also the box usually gives you like some history and stuff like that with the instructions. This one didn't. So there's a lot of stuff on the wiki about it. Because like I said, a lot of technology does pass on. One thing that's fun and should look familiar to a degree is the fact that we get hidden beam sabers in the knees, which has come up before. I can't get it out of there though. Hold on. So several of the 2nd gen Gundams also, not 2nd gen, 3rd gen Gundams do this. Come here. Dang it. I can't get it out of there. It is just, it's not even like pegged in. It's actually just resting in that spot. I just can't grab it. Let's see here. Grab one of the beam sabers or beam blades and see if I can get it out. Probably not. Come on. There we go. Finally. Dang. Could not get a hand on that thing. So once again, this would be a very cool one. I think it even said that it was like had some bits and predecessor to the Artemy. So either way, there's your beam saber and beam blades. It does come with the short beam blades as well, much like Exia comes with long or short, because I think they were variable length as it was. So there's just a little pocket right back in here, and you just tuck that in there and close up your knee. No big deal. No big deal. Doesn't even tab into anything. It just rests inside there. All right, so we need comparisons, right? So let's bring in the granddaddy of them all, as I reach across myself, with the O Gundam, whose gun I have not been able to find. But it's funny that you can see there's a good size difference between the O Gundam and the Plutone. So O Gundam is Gen 1, essentially. Plutone, Gen 2, along with one we're familiar with, Exia. You can see that it's even bigger. Oh, Exia. Estrella. So Estrella a little bit bigger than O Gundam. Plutone bigger than both of them. So that's actually pretty cool. You know, something you don't think about, because you always think they're roughly the same height. Because at least the 3rd gen Gundams with Exia and all them, they're all based on essentially the same frame, which starts essentially with Estrella, and then goes out from there. So that's actually kind of fun. So this is the normal Estrella. The Type F obviously is different. So unlike the Estrella, the Plutone got destroyed proper. Estrella basically gets reborn and donated off to F. And then of course the Plutone Black, I think, ends up there too, with the was it Frechette side guys there, the shadowy support team, as it goes. And I do just have the particle tank connector here for this guy because he has the ACD colors. I should have found the gray one. That would have made more sense, but I grabbed that one. So, you know, what are you gonna do with your life? what are you going to do, you know? And this shield does remind me a lot of the one that comes later with the Natalie. And of course, last but not least, you can try your best to put this guy on a stand. It's not exactly the correct adapter for that, given the position of the crotch. But you can put it on a stand like you do. Can I? Hold on. When in doubt, swap out for the proper peg so you can do the thing. Come on, get up in there. So you can get your Plutone in a decent pose. The feet don't have that much tilt, so I guess you have to kick the ankle back a little bit because the actual ball joint isn't going to help you out much. Let's see here. I'll get that leg up there. And then shield up. See, the only thing is this little shoulder bit is sort of in the way. So you have to finagle around it. And you can see that a lot of inspiration for like some of the bigger Gundams, like the Virtue, and even later the CeraV kind of come from this guy a little bit. And I think it's is it the Abdul that is the predecessor to like Kyrios and the flying ones and stuff like that. And there's one other one, I think it might be the Artemy, that the Artemy becomes eventually the Jin Archer. I think there's another one, because in each generation there's roughly four main Gundams. So this was GNY-004. So either way, looks cool. I really do dig it. This is one of those ones. Please give us the MGs at some point. They haven't even given us an O Gundam MG, you know. In fact, other than the Virtue, we haven't gotten any new concepts for 00 MGs in a long time. Not even like second season Gundams, or even other things like the Flag or anything like that in Act. We've only gotten the old 100s, but no MGs, which, you know, someday down the line I still wouldn't mind getting those, because that's still fun. I still love the designs from this. But anyway, that's going to be it for this review, guys. Make sure you go back and watch all the old old 00CTOBERs. And of course, this month is rolling on. We're getting done what we can. And the fact that this one was sitting in the backlog for like 2 years, you know, it felt good to finally get it out. I was excited about it when it was announced. I enjoyed building it. I really do. I do need to clean up a lot of the gray parts that now under scrutiny here. definitely need to be cleaned up. The only other annoying bit is the stuff on the back here, the power cables. That's a little annoying to have to work around, and it limits the articulation to a degree. So, you know, if you don't care about that, then yes, it's perfect. Just go with it that way. But that's it, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, as always, keep on building.